What if everything you thought you knew about Gomez Addams was a carefully constructed lie? For decades, we've accepted Gomez as the passionate, sword-fighting patriarch of the Addams clan. He was an outcast, sure, but one without the supernatural spark that defines the rest of his family. We were always told the powers just skipped him. But a storm of fan theories online suggested a much darker, more tragic reason for his apparent lack of abilities. One theory in particular, involving a mysterious figure named Isaac Knight, promised to change everything. What if Gomez Addams is secretly the most powerful member of his family? And what if the reason we've never seen his true power is because of a dark secret Morticia has been hiding for decades? For a long time, the fandom believed Season 2 would finally reveal a tragic experiment that cost Gomez his powers and changed the Addams family forever. But the truth that finally came out was something far more subtle and in many ways far more compelling. Before Season 2 gave us answers, the Wednesday fandom was consumed by one electrifying theory. It was a story of betrayal, sacrifice, and stolen power that painted Gomez Addams not as the guy who was skipped by genetics, but as the victim of a terrible conspiracy. This theory centered on a character we'd never even met, Isaac Knight. As the story went, a young Gomez at Nevermore Academy wasn't just a skilled fencer, he was a wielder of the same electrokinetic powers as his brother Fester and, as we now know, his son Pugsley. He was on track to be one of the most powerful Addamses of his generation. But his roommate and best friend, Isaac Knight, had a sister who was cursed to be a Hyde. Desperate to save her, Isaac built a machine he claimed could cure her. To power it, he needed an immense source of energy, and he turned to his trusted friend, Gomez. The theory claimed the machine was a trap. It didn't cure anyone. Instead, it siphoned Gomez's abilities, draining him of his power and nearly his life in an explosion that supposedly killed Isaac. Morticia, his girlfriend, arrived just in time to save him, but his powers were gone. To protect him from the trauma and the powerful people who secretly backed the experiment, Morticia helped create a cover story. The powers had simply skipped a generation. This theory was brilliant. It was dramatic. It explained so much. In a gut-wrenching twist, the theory even offered a new origin for Thing. Fans proposed that in the explosion, Isaac's hand was severed, only to be reanimated by the residual energy. Morticia and Gomez, seeing the last remnant of their friend, took the disembodied hand in, giving it a new life and a new name. It was a perfect, tragic narrative that had fans convinced they had uncovered the Addams family's darkest secret. Everyone was waiting for Season 2 to confirm it. But then, Season 2 dropped, and the truth about Gomez was nothing like the fan theories. In a quiet, almost understated scene, as the Addams family drives to Nevermore, the show addresses the mystery head-on. Pugsley, now crackling with his own newfound electrokinesis, turns to his father. In a moment of pure, childlike curiosity, he says, "It's so weird it skipped you, Dad." And just like that, the grand conspiracy of Isaac Knight and the power siphoning machine was blown out of the water. Gomez simply smiles, and Morticia confirms it. There was no theft. There was no cataclysmic event. It was, as the show puts it, just a fluke of genetics. The hereditary electrokinetic power that runs through the Addams men, the power we see in Fester and now Pugsley, simply passed him by. The potential is in his genes. That's why he could pass it on to his son. But for whatever reason, it never switched on for him. This revelation was, in its own way, more shocking than any fan theory. Instead of a dark, supernatural conspiracy, the show gave us a simple, biological reality. The secret of Gomez's powers was that there was no secret at all. This choice completely reframes Gomez's character. He isn't a man haunted by stolen power or defined by a past trauma that stripped him of his birthright. Instead, he's a man who forged his own path, completely separate from the supernatural gifts of his family. By debunking the Isaac Knight theory, the showrunners made it clear Gomez's strength doesn't come from lightning. It comes from somewhere else entirely. And while some fans were disappointed that the explosive theory wasn't true, the canon explanation gives us a much deeper look at what it truly means to be an Addams. With the Isaac Knight conspiracy off the table, Morticia's role in this whole mystery looks completely different. The fan theories painted her as the keeper of a dark secret, a woman who orchestrated a decades-long cover-up to protect her husband. In that story, every loving glance toward Gomez was tinged with the weight of what she knew he had lost. It was romantic, sure, but also tragic. The reality we see in Season 2 is far more powerful. Morticia's secret wasn't about hiding a traumatic event. It was her complete and total acceptance of the man she loves, exactly as he is. When Gomez sees Pugsley's powers emerging, there's no hint of regret in his eyes, and Morticia's support isn't born from pity, but from unwavering partnership. She isn't propping up a broken man, she is standing beside a whole one. The show makes it clear that being an outcast isn't just about what you can do, it's about who you are. Gomez is an outcast to his core, in his macabre hobbies, his bizarre passions, and his unapologetic approach to life. His lack of powers doesn't make him any less of an Addams. Morticia fell in love with Gomez the fencer, the eccentric, the romantic, not Gomez the electrokinetic. Her secret, then, is one of quiet strength. She never saw Gomez as lacking anything. Where others might see an absence of power, she has always seen an abundance of character. The truth is, there was no cover-up, because in their eyes, there was nothing to cover up. Gomez not having powers was just another fact of their lives, no more dramatic or secretive than the color of his eyes. This proves their legendary romance is built on a foundation far stronger than any supernatural ability. So if Gomez doesn't have electrokinesis, what is his secret power? Season 2 argues, beautifully, that we've been seeing it all along. We were just looking for the wrong thing. We were looking for sparks and lightning when we should have been looking at his unwavering passion, his incredible skill with a sword, and his almost supernatural devotion to his family. Gomez's power is his humanity, just amplified to an Addams level of intensity. Think about it. In a world of monsters and psychics, he holds his own with nothing but a blade and his own formidable will. His agility, his cunning, and his boundless optimism are his weapons. He's a successful lawyer and a man whose love for his wife is so potent it could be considered a force of nature. He doesn't need to generate electricity. His very presence is electric. This actually makes him a more interesting character. He is the anchor in a family of supernatural storms. While Morticia has her visions and Wednesday has her psychic abilities, Gomez is the one who grounds them with his fierce, earthly love. He proves that being an Addams isn't about inheriting a specific power, but about embodying a certain spirit. And his lack of powers makes Pugsley's story even more important. The electrokinetic abilities didn't die out, they were just dormant, waiting for the next generation. Pugsley now carries the torch that his father never could, creating a fascinating new dynamic. Wednesday takes after Morticia's psychic frump lineage, while Pugsley takes after the Addams men, inheriting the spark of his Uncle Fester. Gomez now stands as the bridge between them, the man who passed on a gift he never possessed himself. His greatest power might just be his ability to foster it in others. So the great mystery is solved. Gomez Addams wasn't robbed of his power. He simply never had it. Instead, His power has always been his indomitable spirit and his place at the very heart of this wonderfully weird family. But what do you think? Were you a fan of the dramatic Isaac Knight theory, or do you prefer the show's official explanation? Does knowing the truth change how you see Gomez? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love getting lost in the macabre mysteries of Nevermore, make sure you like and subscribe for more. What does this mean for the Addams family moving forward? And how will Pugsley wield the power his father never could? The secrets are only just beginning to unravel.